Andrew Holness versus Mark Golding. Why I would choose Andrew, although it's a no-brainer. I'll answer that. In the dynamic landscape of Jamaican politics, two prominent figures stand out: Andrew Holness and Mark Golding. Both leaders have their unique approaches and visions for the country. But when it comes to choosing between them, Andrew Holness emerges as the preferred choice for several reasons. One is that Andrew's vision for Jamaica is to benefit Jamaicans, his people. Now, today, the truth has to be plain and blunt. Mark Golding, on the other hand, and obviously, has a vision to use Jamaica for his own personal gains. The British man might feel entitled to do as those before him, which goes against the wishes of the people of Jamaica, who historically were like nothing but chattel for the British, especially the ones like Mark Golding's parents. They would enrich themselves by making us impoverished, like with Golding and FINSAC, and they might do it with venomous hate and impunity too. Now he believes he believes that it's his place to point fingers at one of us talking about illicit enrichment. How did you get here in the middle of this? Huh? You're pointing fingers at one of us? Huh? His culture is hate and marginalization of our people. And when it comes to Mark, the white man is presumptuous. This one is most presumptuous, pointing fingers at a black man and morphing into the black man's business, talking about which one is a thief when he is the man with the extorted loot, FinSac money. This is how intrusive he is. His culture is to get all up in your black rigmarole if you let him. So don't let him. He should not be the one setting standards among our people, lying and talking about the black man has no integrity, but he does though. It's an insult. It's an insult not only to Andrew Holness but to all of us. That alone is a reason why he should not be here, sitting illegally in our parliament, gridlocking our independence process under the most superficial excuses and pretending like he is trying to do the right thing for us. But he is not us, and he is not allowing us to choose. The JLP must try to avoid subjecting us to a court that is not free of moles, and having internal moles is the PNP strategy under Mark Golding all day, every day. That means there is no justice or integrity in the IC, for example, and decisions will only favor the PNP's agenda. That's what you call one sided. We don't want to have our own court looking like that. We cannot make forward decisions in this way. The JLP must not relent to an imbalanced situation as they did in accepting the members of the IC who were comrades, and now their lack of integrity shows when they are supposed to run the IC without bias. Mark Golding has got to go. He is here as an alien Hyksos in Egypt to usurp the order. Huh? He is here as an alien Hyksos in Egypt to usurp the order, the Hyksos man. I know the wicked and evil plan of a one seed Cassia invader man. A long time them a do it. Watch how intrusive he becomes all up in our personal affairs. We can do our constitutional reform process by but take our time. to set the right foundations for our own court system. So it is not compromised by outside forces, like Mark Golding did to the IC, the judge that turned to grudges, the harlot media, and the parish councils. Mark should never see himself as having a say in this part. It's just that he might have ways to compromise it for going forward with dirty, stinking Judas molds like judges that turn to grudges or even in the likeness of Justice Pantan or so. Hello again, my people. It's me, Skywalker. As usual, I dare to tell the truth just as it is. It's because I love my Jamaican coffee, so I always have to smell it. Wake up, my people, and smell the coffee. It is good for you. I even make my own coffee air freshener now. Sometimes truth becomes feisty, but you still have to say it, and that sucks. But so what? If I upset you, then it's simply your fault. Don't listen to Mark Golding saying that he is already rich, so he does not have to loot again. Yes, he made the bargain FINSAC while we bled and our labor was extorted and given to him, as historically it always was between us and his people. However, only a fool would believe that he is done taking from us. Capitalists are never rich enough, and his people are never done with us. If we know nothing else, those two facts are sealed in concrete, where there is no debate. So we begin with agreement. We can agree that he still wants to take from us and that his people will never stop tormenting us. Plus, he has been hemorrhaging in business so much that we can imagine how desperate he is for another FinSac. This time, hopefully, he wishes to be the government. He wishes to be the prime minister. How crazy is that? The oppressed voting for the oppressor. Huh? The same people who he will oppress voting for him. Only in Jamaica. Only in a people that lost their own racial pride and identity. Comrades, when Golding says Andrew is bad and I am good, you jump up and say, yeah! It's like someone tells you to go use the F word against yourself and you gleefully go. Now you might be destined to be F-worded, and it's because of backward thinking. Do you believe it makes a difference that he wears the color of the PNP? If a man comes from England, a British man who doesn't care about you, if he comes from England and puts on the colors of the PNP, he loves you now, huh? He already destroyed the PNP, but you don't care. Well, I am here to look out for you and raise the alarm because we are a people in danger if we don't defend against the threats. As I said, if I upset you, then it's simply your fault. You don't like to hear the truth, but God says no. Ma Golden must go. He is there in a Democratic Party doing his capitalist stuff with impunity. He takes away democracy from the comrades, and instead of the people choosing their candidates to contest the seats, he chooses these candidates, and the people must agree and say, yes, Massa, because he owns them like his own property. Uh-huh. And when he decides to take a seat from a comrade, that the comrade was already proven to merit because of the support of the people. If the comrade doesn't agree, then they will threaten him with lynching. That used to go on in Paul Bogle's time a lot. Imagine that. Many of these comrades behaving like chattel are an embarrassment to this nation. Many will take this insult and still go and obey the Bokramasa. The people are given no say in their own election campaign and they accept it. They accept because it's a white man says so. Andrew Holness has achieved significant economic progress during his tenure. Under his leadership, Jamaica has seen a notable reduction in unemployment, with the rate dropping from 13.7% in 2016 to approximately 7%. Holness has also emphasized the importance of skills training and increasing the minimum wage, contributing to the country's economic stability. His focus on continuous improvement and transparency resonates with many Jamaicans who appreciate his commitment to progress. He is homebred. We know that he was born here, and we know where. We also know that Mark Golding was born in London, but the white man can paint even a black Jesus white and give you, and you say, yes, master, to tell you the truth, to tell you the truth. When he give you the black Jesus, you will say, when he give you the white Jesus, you will take the white Jesus and then look at the Jesus you know for thousands of years and say to hell with the black Jesus. You need to stop this foolish behavior. You don't know what Jesus represents anyway, because the white man didn't tell you and you depend on him for definitions. You are a people dependent for definitions. And no other people I have ever seen anywhere in the world to demonstrate this lack, lack of self-identity, lack of pride than the comrades of Jamaica. I have never, you go to South Africa and you see some people similar. South Africa is the only place I have seen black people like you, comrades of Jamaica. The intrusive and presumptuous lack of boundaries. Mark Golding has been vocal in his criticisms of wholeness economic policies. While it's essential for opposition leaders to provide checks and balances, Golding's tone often comes across as disingenuous. His history with the previous People's National Party administration, which faced numerous challenges, raises questions about his ability to lead effectively. Hey, boy, why am I trying? Wholeness approach to governance is characterized by a balance of celebrating achievements and acknowledging areas for improvement. This tone of humility and commitment to progress builds public trust and inspires confidence. Wholeness' willingness to address issues head on and work towards solution is a refreshing contrast to the often contentious political environment. Mark is over here threatening us about his Tapanari's friends and showing us chains, people. But the comrades are jumping and shouting, yeah! How unbelievable is that? How unbelievable is that? And you go on the street and one of your brothers accidentally step on your toe and you say kill the boy. In contrast to Andrew Olness' decent attitude, Golding's criticisms are usually more politically motivated than constructive. Yeah, anything you listen to what he says, anytime you hear him come, he's always criticizing, and all his criticisms are more politically motivated than constructive, meaning that he has nothing to do with Jamaica but to become the leader. That's all his obsession is. It's not about love, it's about money. Yeah. Moreover, He has no useful plans and no useful advice. Every time he opens his mouth to say anything about what he would do, it turns out as him putting a foot in his mouth by exposing his lack of intelligence concerning the matter. For example, he will propose a tax that would drive up inflation as a means to make life for farmers more comfortable. Then even the farmers themselves would face that same inflation. And I mean, he exposes himself in that silly way every time. So he hides his lack of knowledge behind propaganda and gangstalking tactics, where he even pays vloggers and conventional media people to attack Andrew Holness by turning lies into rhetoric. Because this guy lies. He really, really lies. And he doesn't care enough for Jamaica to think he has to do some research. He doesn't care what happens as long as he get his hand on that kitty. His association with the previous PNP administration, which struggled with various issues, further complicates his credibility. The use of propaganda and counter narratives by Golding and his supporters can muddy the waters, making it difficult for the public to discern the truth. But it's what he depends on. That's what he depends on. Distraction, blindsiding. No one who depends on lies and propaganda can be worthy of heading any government. Everything about Mark Golding signals a red flag. Everything about him is a red flag, sending a message that Marky G has got to go. He has got to go home to London and allow Jamaica to prosper in peace. Here is the thing. I told you that sometimes truth becomes feisty, but you still have to tell it. Truth has no regards for sentiments or your vain emotions. It is what it is, regardless of how you will choose to feel about it. You may not like to agree with it, but it still remains unquestionable. That is a very hard truth about the truth. And because I know that truth, I have to just say the doggone truth without apology. Mark Golding has got to go and remove his curse and gridlock on Jamaica and Jamaican politics. All this man does is hate, bad mind, and lies. He is definitely the author of the book of Eli because he is so damned lie. He really, really lies so much that it is threatening to regress Jamaica down to Dranko settings. Mediocrity, mediocrity, mediocrity can do that to a country. If we don't open our eyes and end up giving Margoling the wheel, then mediocrity will possess us. When did a British man ever had the interest of Jamaicans at heart anyway? Huh? When? He's always coming for opportunity because in his mind, these people are just chattel. I mean, wouldn't he prefer his Tapanaris friends to do as they like over here? And then they will tax the living daylights out of you for everything again. They are the ones that make our ancestors raise the animals, then they would kill a goat, take all the good meat, and show the intestines at them saying, eat that. Or they would tell us about bread and butter while they eat ham and bacon. So it has to be obvious. We are not the tapanaris to them, to Mark. Don't give up your own for an alien. Andrew Holness is one of us. Plus, he is 10 times or more brighter than Mark Golding. And his achievements in governance has proven that point. That's why Golding hates him so bad. Bad mind is actually a thing. It only takes a foolish comrade to say that Andrew Holness is bright, but Mark Golding is white, so Golding is more qualified. Yeah, that's the way how comrades reason. And before you get mad about what I just said, remember that the comrades were and are still all over the internet talking about 3 trillion missing and not even having the gray matter to figure out how impossible that statement is. It's like telling people that your father's bull just had a calf through its balls. That is even more foolish than saying Golding's skin color qualifies him. I told you that sometimes the truth gets hasty, but it is still the truth. What to do then? Huh? Holness leadership has fostered a sense of stability and progress in Jamaica. His focus on economic growth, job creation, and infrastructure development has positively impacted many communities. The ability to express differing political views without fear of retribution under Holness leadership is a testament to his commitment to a more inclusive and respectful political environment. Mark Golding had a simple disagreement with an MP candidate, Rowe, that he was treating Rowe unfairly. And by that man simply speaking up for himself, his life was threatened by people around Mark. Even on social media, I heard it. And Mark Golding kept his silence. No positive intervention whatsoever as a leader. That is enough proof that Golding himself is a tyrant. Listening to his comrades threatening to burn a man to death before hugging him and saying nothing as party leader, cementing the fact that he endorsed it. I mean, the way silence does. And isn't it ironical that black Jamaicans would come up with the idea of lynching a black person when they serve a British master and one of their own went out of line? What's happening to Jamaicans? Are people being brainwashed? I usually say that the slave is in the head. The slave is in the head. Golding faces criticism for his party's association with gangsters and the use of intimidation tactics in certain areas. This association undermines public trust and creates a hostile environment for political discourse. The violent threats and aggressive behavior exhibited by some PNP supporters further tarnish Golding's image and raise concerns about his ability to lead effectively. Under Andrew Holness' leadership style, achievements, and commitment to continuous improvement make him the preferred choice. Andrew Holness' leadership style, achievements, commitment to continuous improvement make him the preferred choice. His balanced approach to governance, focus on economic stability, and efforts to create a more inclusive political environment resonate with many Jamaicans. In contrast, Golding's disingenuous tone, association with the previous PNP administration, and use of propaganda raise questions about his ability to lead effectively. Not even just his ability, but his desire to rule effectively and without tyranny and unruliness is in question. We all see the awful things that Mark Golding does, say, and tolerate. We all see the big red flags warning that he is a threat to our sovereignty. The PNP needs to spew him out and come one leader better than him. Andrew Holness' track record and approach to governance make him the clear choice for those seeking a brighter future for Jamaica, instead of becoming the enrichment for England's future. But, of course, we know how selfish some of our people can become. The prostituting behavior that weak minded men and women will demonstrate, like old unenlightened harlots selling even their children for only funky bells and ballet. But because it is too serious a situation for me not to say, because ignorant support for Marky G is going down the wrong road, and because we are already equipped in our own son and Jamaican wholeness, who is bound to us by blood and a common destiny. Think on these things, my people. Peace out.